Welcome. I'm Linda Lewis for We the People Congress. Thank you for joining me tonight on Reunite America. My guest speaker is Mr. Ray Hunt. He is a candidate for the Continental Congress 2009. Welcome, Ray. Thank you for joining me this evening. So you're a candidate for the Continental Congress.
That's what they say.
Yes. Tell me about that.
Well, yeah. I have been nominated to be one of the delegates to the Continental Congress.
Excellent.
I have accepted the nomination. Basically, the way I see it for me is why I accepted the nomination. I really feel that I have a civic duty to basically to repay my debt to this society. And you know, if we're to leave, you know, future generations with the same opportunities that we had to be free, it's one of our responsibilities.
Absolutely.
So I have accepted the nomination.
Excellent, excellent. So share with me what you foresee the Continental Congress 2009 looking like.
Well, I think the Continental Congress is basically a response to a number of grievances and violations that our government has basically inflicted on the American people. And there has been a number of petitions filed against the government responsibly, you know, legally, to try and get government back under the constraints of the Constitution. But we're at a point where the government is not responsive to the people.
Sure.
It's just basically unaccountable at this point. So the Continental Congress is, I read a book once called the Continental Congress, America's Forgotten Government. And I think that's kind of a good description of it. I think it could have been prevented, but at the same time, it's predictable. I mean,
sure.
it's a response to the state that our nation is in today.
Sure, and we are there.
Yeah.
And the time is now.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So tell me what makes you an excellent candidate and an even better delegate to this.
Well, Linda, I've been fortunate to actually meet a lot of the candidates, and I can say that it is an honor, obviously, to be nominated. But
Absolutely.
I'm sort of a paradox, you know, given the fact that many of these candidates that I've been fortunate to meet,
Sure.
they have a lot of credentials, very well educated, you know, long service record and well established, and they're great citizens, great people.
Sure.
And I guess there's two ways to get there. You know, if you're climbing the ladder, so to speak, you can do things the right way, or you can learn the hard way.
Sure.
And I'm one of those who has learned the hard way. I guess I'm here not because I've done everything right, I've done everything wrong. And
I can relate to that, Ray, believe me.
I've learned from my mistakes, and I guess maybe if there's one thing that I would like to contribute or feel that I
bring to the table.
Right, exactly.
Sure.
You know, I grew up in the Midwest and always been a blue-collar worker. I really have a passion or a soft spot for the working man out there. I think that's what built this country. I really would like to lend a voice to the men and women out there who build things and take from the land and the real substantive agrarian type of you know, work that I really believe this country was built on.
Sure, absolutely, and that's wonderful. That's really.
As far as what the Continental Congress is going to be about, you know, I know it's really undetermined at this point. It would be speculation to say, well, this is what's going to come out of the Continental Congress, or this is what the agenda is.
Sure.
It really hasn't been determined. One of the things I know well, Bob Soltz, for instance, spearheaded this effort, and he's put a lot of emphasis on the Constitution, particularly the First Amendment to the Constitution, the right to redress of grievances, and that's kind of how this all got started.
Came about,
right.
Sure.
And I think a lot of people, you know, it's kind of a campaign slogan, you know, restore the Constitution.
Right.
And, you know, I think there's nothing wrong with that preference, but a lot of people don't understand that, you know, what is the Constitution? What is it really about? Why do we even need a Constitution? Right. I mean, it's hard to dismiss the Constitution because it stood the test of time. I mean, here we are 222 years later, still talking about the Constitution.
Absolutely.
So there's obviously a reason for it. And, you know, what I hope they do at the Continental Congress, and maybe what I can bring to it, is talk about there's nothing magical about the Constitution itself. What makes the reason the Constitution has stood the test of time is the underlying principles that are built into the Constitution. And you know, they call those maxims, or you know, Thomas Jefferson called them self-evident truths.
Sure.
But you know, these maxims are around every day. Like, if you leave your car window open and it rains, what happens? You know,
sure.
These things in nature. You know, if you're going to have a barbecue or something, you look at the weather report, and you can predict things based on laws of nature.
Sure.
Okay. Well, what the founders understood is that there are also